What is up, guys? It's Strange Productions here. Welcome back to another fantastic, most future-generistic video of all... Nah, I've already fucked that up. What's up, guys? Strange Productions here. Welcome back to another video I have you guys in store today. We're at the basement on track number 24. We're driving the Amtrak Silver Meteor. Literally non-stop as we rocket shoot way to Baltimore-Penn station. We'll be on track number 6. When we get there, we're going to skip all the stations, pretty much, and we're going to get down to it. One thing that will probably definitely happen is this was not set up correctly. We'll probably take track 1 at Grove. Actually, I can fix that now, so give me 1 second while I fix that. So you'll actually get to see how I fix things. Give me 1 second here. But I wish Dovetail, when they created this in DTG, I'll try saying that 3 times fast, would kind of make some modifications to that, if you guys know what I mean by that. And I'll point out as we go along what I mean. But when we take this way, you'll see some of the errors that I have foreseen. So let me fix this real fast. So we want this one with the P. There we go. And so I need to look at something real fast. It's taking us, where's Grove? Aha, right there. Okay, so it is taking us on track 2 to 1. So I'm going to change that. So where it says BWI Airport track 1, I'm going to change that to, where is it? Passing track 2. There we go. It took it. Okay. So now we'll be on track 2 the entire way. And then you'll see some of the signals that do funky stuff. So we'll be going around a few trains because why not? And so we'll give that a minute to load here. And we shall begin. There we go. Alright, so take it. Alright. So let us set up everything. So we're going to set up our lights. It is currently 10:30 in the AM. It is completely cloudy because Mother Nature. Yeah, I said it right. Okay, never mind. Mother Nature completely hates us. So I'm going to demonstrate it here in this game. Haha. I'm going to put on my parking brake real fast. Load the passengers. And we'll do a quick brake test real fast before we depart. Alright, so we're up a 1.2% grade, so of course everything's going to be a little screwed at the moment. So we'll test our locomotive brakes. Looks like we're getting some good pressure there. Wait for that pressure to build up, clear out. No, it's not. Alright, everything looks good. So brake test is complete. Gonna go set forward. Okay, forwards. That's funny. It definitely looks good. So we're going on passengers, pantographs in the wrong direction, but due to game affiliations, they will go ahead and fix that. So watching board here. There we go. Alright, we're good to go. So it looks like we got a clear. Pantographs, we'll definitely have to switch here. So that being said, parking brake release, we're clear to go. There I was talking about. Alright. We're going to do a running brake test. Looks like we got a slow clear up ahead. Track number 24. There we go. Cool. Amtrak 98 to proceed signal location K Tower. Let's depart. Main station next stop. Baltimore. And we got slow clear. So I'll cut the power right here, apply the brakes. Alright, brakes are responding. Alright, so that is a running brake test complete. So we are okay to go. Now the signal we just passed was called K-Tower, which corresponds to K-Tower. And then the signal bridges will correspond to each different section of signals. So it looks like we have another slow clear coming up, and this is J bridge, or J interlocking. And they all go by different grid sections as well. For signaling at least, not for electricity, because they're all pretty much the same. Looks like we do indeed have a slow clear. And our cab signals picked up a medium approach, which we're going medium speed. Now this signal here is called H-Tower, or H interlocking. It still looks like we have a slow clear. Cab signal just picked that up. And so we are a train type B today, so that means we'll be running on B speeds. So we will not be able to go full throttle in most places. Alright, so we're clear for 20. And we have an official clear signal because that white light is directly on top of that signal. We're clear for 45, so we'll go ahead and start speeding up here. Oh, there's my ditch light there, turn that on, but I didn't. I guess my alerters are going to be crazy today. This is CP Avenue. We're going track 42 to track number 2, which we are now officially on Amtrak's Northeast Corridor on the Washington-Philadelphia line. Well, Philly-Washington, because speed limits are going to go slower, or not speed limits, the milepost will go lower, excuse me. I don't know what I'm talking about right now. We're clear for 95. So now we go full power. And IVCD is just completely dead today. Alright, so we'll be there literally within half an hour, which is just perfect. Because I'm starting to get tired. I'd like to take a shower. It is currently 3 in the morning here, Central Time. And so long days ahead of me I need to prepare for, because apparently I'm not a Jedi yet. Those of you who obviously do not get that joke, please leave immediately. I'm just kidding. Alright, so we're at the end of the 95 stretch. So we're now going to hit 125. There we go. So now we are full power, 125 miles an hour. By the way, if anybody has any other requests for the future, just what they want to see, please let me know in the comments below. This or any of my other videos, mainly this video, so I know exactly what you guys are referring to at least. So. We're now crossing the Anacostia River. And once we pass the signal box to the left, we are now officially in the state of Maryland. We have left Washington, D.C. officially of the District of Columbia, and now we are in Maryland. Our first place coming up, when we take the corner, will be Cheverly, Maryland. And you'll see the Orange Line Metro to the right, as well as the CSX Landover subdivision, which connects at Benning Yards in Washington, D.C., to connect the CSX R4P subdivision and the Capitol subdivision on the Alexandria branch. Now, speaking of the Alexandria branch, that bridge right here with the signal, that is actually the CSX Alexandria branch right there, part of the Capitol subdivision. The Capitol R4P extension, and this is the Cheverly Metro station to the right, the orange. And then you can see the CSX Landover subdivision all the way to the right. Alright, usually when the metro starts going over the CSX RFP subdivision, or the Landover subdivision, excuse me, I like to go ahead and begin my speed reduction to 100 miles an hour to indicate that we are approaching Landover, Maryland, and Landover interlocking. This is Landover interlocking, Landover, Maryland. As now, the CSX Landover subdivision joins with the Amtrak's Northeast Corridor to form track number 1. This section of the track is actually electrified for track number 1 because right here, in modern time, is where the new interlocking is for the Northeast Corridor called Hanson. Hanson is one of the first high-speed crossovers of, well, first of 3 if you're going northbound, which we are. So that's the first high-speed crossover. The next one coming up is at New Carrollton. We will not be stopping at New Carrollton because we are the Civil Meteor. And now we are at type B speed, so we can only go 110 miles per hour. So we'll go ahead and begin our power up again. And we will maintain 110 miles per hour until we get to milepost 125 at Seabrook. And then we will resume 125 miles per hour until we get to Boone. This is New Carrollton Mark Station, as well as the end of the Orange Line Metro to the right, New Carrollton, Maryland. Milepost 127. There's my marker to the left. This is Carroll Interlocking. This is the second interlocking of the Northeast Corridor. If you're going northbound, that has the high-speed crossover, which you see right here. Now track 1 is electrified. Well, it's supposed to be electrified since Hanson, and actually technically Landover. But now that it's electrified, that indicates that Mark and any other Amtrak locomotive is allowed. It looks like a Mark train just got out of our way as well. I'm very surprised my signals did not slow me down over at Landover until you catch up to this Mark train. This is Seabrook Mark Station, Seabrook, Maryland, milepost 124.4. And now we can go 125 miles per hour. Now, Seabrook is definitely one of my favorite spots on the Northeast Corridor to rail fan and watch trains because literally, especially on a Thursday, Thursdays are my absolute favorite days to watch trains on the Northeast Corridor, especially when I used to live in the DMV, because I'll at least catch a good, well, how many trains can I catch? Within a span of 6-7 hours, I could catch like 70 trains, something like that. Sometimes it'd be the same constants like on the Mark trains, but you know what? Whatever. Worth it. past the little industrial track to the right. And so CSX will join in at Landover, Maryland from the Landover subdivision, and the CSX trains will actually come right here to this interlocking, which is called Bowie State, or sorry, just Bowie interlocking. So they'll come right here to Bowie interlocking, and they will come off the Y, which you will see here in a minute, to the right, and then that begins the CSX Poe Creek subdivision, which will go down towards, Morgantown, Maryland, where you can have CSX coal trains, rock trains, as well as some locals that come by. And to the right, after this Y and this interlocking, is the Railroad Museum. And right there is where the CSX will curve off to the right and form the Poe Creek subdivision. And right here at this curve is 115 miles per hour. So we will maintain 115 miles per hour and lower. And after that, every curve between milepost 118 and milepost 113, we will maintain 120 miles an hour, especially between Grove and milepost 110 as well. Now, the Amtrak Northeast Corridor is absolutely my favorite route in pretty much the entire world, especially this section between Washington and Baltimore. It's one of the lines I grew up with. It's one of the lines I fell in love with. It was one of the lines that was the most influential to me to expand my railroad interests and then go into the railroad career as well. There'll be a little surprise later on, probably next month and a half, and I'll keep you guys updated on that as well. Don't want to spoil anything because I do not know yet for myself. But if everything goes through, it will be a really exciting event, and I cannot wait to share with all of you guys out there. And again, I thank you for your continuous support through these times, and I hope everybody's doing well through this pandemic, through just everything in general. And what do I say about that? Keep fighting. That's all I can say. Keep fighting. It's all a big game. This is all a big video game, right? But there's a huge purpose to win the game. So do yourselves a favor, play along with the game, play the game yourself, and literally just win. It's an easy win, but we all have to do it together. If we can do it, imagine what else we can do. Shit, we can make rice cookers. My true friends know exactly what I'm talking about, by the way. When I mean true friends, I mean the ones that are extremely close to me, that know me for years and years together. So all these curves are 120 miles per hour because we're between milepost 118 and milepost 113. We are a train type B, which means we go a lower speed. So basically, we're not a high-speed train set, and we don't have any tilting mechanisms. So all of these tilts that you see us doing is literally just a super elevated track, which means the track is tilted itself, not the train. If the train was tilting itself, it means the train can take the curves at a higher speed. Northbound. This is Odenton, Maryland. Odenton Mark Station. And that should be milepost 113. Is now between Grove and milepost 110. We'll have curves of 110 miles per hour. No, 120, sorry. we have a clear, and this is Grove interlocking. This is the third crossover that is high speed. As you can see, between track 2 and track 1, the curve is super elevated to withstand 80-mile-an-hour turns. Impressive, isn't it? So after this curve coming up, well, these two curves, this is basically a huge S curve. We'll be trying to go 125 miles per hour and seeing what this baby can do. We go up a few grades here. So now track 1 will split off just a little bit because this section used to be 4 tracks because it used to get so busy coming into Baltimore, especially with all the freight traffic that you'll see, well, back in the day at least. So they had 4 tracks. So that way passengers and freights can literally run on the same track all kinds of the day. All different times of the day, excuse me. I don't know how to speak to that apparently. See, all those signals now. So we had it clear, and now it's showing stop and proceeds. So definitely need to fix that. But I want to keep going with my caps and... But yeah, that is incorrect. So that's what I was trying to explain. So now we're at the end of the curve, so we can try to go 125 miles an hour until we get towards BWI Airport. We'll start to have our speed restrictions yet again. And then I've seen quite a few rail fans come to this particular location I'm about to point out here to the left after this bridge. About right where that white car is right there. Where all its vehicles lined up on. Apparently that's a nice little rail fan hotspot for the Northeast Corridor for trains that are coming up and down. So I'll definitely want to try that when I come back to the D. Okay, so we're now passing BWI Airport, runway 10 left, I think. So now we're going to have to slow down to 90 miles an hour because we'll be at the first curve south of milepost 106. So therefore, the speed limit is actually 90 miles an hour. Right here. Oh, look at the cellar. And once we pass BWI Airport, we can go to 110 miles an hour. This is BWI Airport, Baltimore-Washington International, or sorry, Baltimore-Washington Thurgood Marshall International Airport. There you go. Try saying that 10 times fast. Alright, now we're clear for 110 miles an hour. Our speed limit here is actually 110 miles per hour. So, but once we get around this curve, we're going to have to slow down to 100 miles per hour, indicating that we're at Winans interlocking, and the curve right at Winans is a 100-mile-an-hour curve, in which we can actually start slowing down now. There's the curve of Winans, and we just passed under the CSX Capital subdivision, where it begins the Baltimore Terminal subdivision, and will continue into Baltimore, and that's where your trains will go towards Philadelphia, anywhere in the New England area from the south. This is Halethorpe Mark Station, Halethorpe, Maryland. Milepost 103, and there's the milepost. The platform actually used to be under the bridge. It used to be a very short platform, just like West Baltimore. But they don't have that anymore. Man, my speaking is on point tonight. And right over us is Interstate 95, which we just passed over. At this curve right here, we have a speed restriction of 105 miles per hour. But it looks like our speedometers are having issues, so we're not go that fast anyway, so I don't think we can. Oh, I'm sorry, this is Interstate 95. That was Interstate 95. My apologies. Alright, now we're coming into the sights of Baltimore, coming up here shortly, because we are now in the ghetto. As my favorite YouTuber, or one of my favorite YouTubers, Bullfrog Productions, says, welcome back to the hood. This bridge coming up is actually US 1, or Wilkins Avenue. How do I know that for a fact? Because I used to come here a lot when I had my doctor's visit, because we just passed McDonald's. And a doctor's office, actually, you can probably see it, is over here. That's Pine Heights. For those of you looking for endocrinology, or at least a diabetic specialist, I do recommend it. So we have a speed restriction of 105 because this is Frederick Road right here. So we're at the first curve south of Frederick Road. And now we are under Frederick Road. And now we're at the first curve north of Frederick Road, which will be speed restriction of 80 miles an hour. So I'm going to maintain it here at 74 miles per hour. And then we'll just begin to slow down here. And it looks like we do indeed have a clear signal. Looks like we do indeed have a southbound. So this curve right here, we have a speed restriction of 50 miles an hour, so I'm going to begin our speed reduction to 50. This is West Baltimore Mark Station, West Baltimore, Maryland. This is bridge interlocking, where track 1 and track A, which is that wooden track on the far right, will terminate, excuse me, use the proper railroad termination here, and we will now be going into the Baltimore-Potomac Tunnel, or the B&P. So we are at 45 miles an hour. The restriction was actually 40 miles an hour. I just didn't catch that. Now we're at the Baltimore-Potomac tunnels, and we have an approach signal. Shoot, it means we have to stop at the next signal. We're going to start ringing our bell, because now we're going through the tunnels. welcome to the D&P. Our cab signal is showing a yellow over green and a L, so it's telling us we have a approach limited of some sort, which is completely incorrect. Our dynamics at 100% because we're going to slow down now because we had an approach signal. Proceed prepared to stop at the next signal. Trains who have not begun medium speed must begin reduction in medium speed once you pass the signal, which we have, which is 30 miles an hour. Yep, we do definitely have a stop. We'll get close to it. Alright, so this is a stop and proceed signal because this is an automatic block signal. Now, if it would be a real stop signal, then there would be no number plate, or the signal will be completely dark and not lit at all. So therefore, that would be a stop. But this has a number plate and the signal is clearly lit, so therefore this is a stop and proceed. So, that's Train Simulator rules. I would hit tab to request clearance to go through, and we are approved. So we can proceed at restricted speed. Prepare to stop at the next signal. Alright, this capsule is going to drop, excuse me, and they have dropped down to 20. So now we have a restricting signal. So we will not be able to go more than 20 miles per hour, and we will have to stop at the next signal. So basically, the only reason is that there will be a stop and proceed if the next signal is inactive, or there's a train coming from the other direction of the block, or there's a train occupying the block, or there's something fouling the track to cut off the sensors. So that way it will warn you on something up ahead. So basically there could be another train on the block, there could be something fouling the track and it trigger the sensor to stop the train or whatnot. So basically we gotta be at a good speed to stop immediately if we see something. Like there's a person on the track, you know, or whatever's fouling the track. Well, you shouldn't be on the track anyways. If you are, you're an idiot and you're trespassing. I don't condone behavior like that. It appears we're acquiring a southbound, so it's not blinded. Looks like a northeast region. Hi, how are you today, sir? Pretty long region. Engine bell or engine motor locomotive bell will be rung the entire duration of Baltimore and Potomac tunnels. BEP tunnel. It's so cold in my house in Oklahoma right now because our electricity can't keep up with all the stuff that my SpongeBob plate, it literally looks like a reflective glass. Hilarious. Alright, so we're going to stop at this signal. And we have I can't see. We do have a stop, and there's no number plate, so therefore this is a regular stop signal, so I do have to stop. This is where I'll have to request clearance. So we'll press tab again. We have clearance up, and then change to an approach. Excellent. So we can proceed through. Cab signals have upgraded to an approach 30. So now we come into the platform as fast as we can and make up all that time. This is Baltimore-Penn Station, Baltimore, Maryland, downtown in the hood. He's up on the brake, and we have arrived in Baltimore. Welcome to Baltimore. We have arrived. Our train has not fully made it onto the platform. Whoops. I could have definitely pulled up more, but I keep forgetting I'm not a Northeast regional, so I guess cut me some slack. Alright, well that's the end of this video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. Hope you guys enjoyed watching me tear through some track 2 signals, even though Dovetail needs to add some minor adjustments to it, but no worries, I still enjoy the route regardless, and that's all I have to say for that. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go to bed now. This is Strength Productions. We're out of here.